Hi, my name is Elizabeth Shaw, and I'm here interviewing Lindsay Harvell. She teaches at Griggs Elementary, and she's a second grade teacher. So, how are you, Miss Harvell?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm great. I have a few questions for you regarding technology in the classroom.
Okay.
And my first question is, what aspects of teaching do you feel is important for first-year teachers or students to grasp before trying to instruct a classroom?
I think, especially for first-year teachers, having that classroom management is key. You have got to be able to build that rapport with the kids rather than, just you can't talk at them. You've got to talk, with them and, like I said, build the rapport and get that management built up before you can make a difference.
Okay, awesome. And what were a few of the classroom management, like what are some things that you use daily to kind of really get a grip with your classroom?
Well, we definitely have our behavior chart. We've got, green if you're doing well, and from green it goes to pink, purple, white.
Okay.
And then if you have a warning, you go to orange, and that keeps the class under control. And you've got to keep your word. You can't say, oh, you're going to move your color and never make them do it. You've got to stay on them because, you are their caretaker. They listen to you and learn from you each day. So.
Okay. Awesome. What are some of the most technological resources you take advantage of as a teacher?
We've got tons. Griggs, we are very pushing of technology this year. So I've got, of course, a smart board that we use for whole group instruction. Some of my reteaches that need some extra support, I'll teach them after school. When we tutor, we've got our student laptops, our tablets, our iPads, and then we've got one touchscreen computer.
Okay, awesome. How do you incorporate those kinds of resources into your lessons?
Well, we use our smart board every day. We've got lessons built throughout the year when we play with our grade level for reading, social studies, science, math. It's all on our smart board. And as far as, like at the end of reading when we go to centers, they'll rotate through the technology stations and use different apps in between there.
Okay. So. How do you help your students who have trouble with those kinds of resources?
For my students who aren't familiar with, using a laptop or a touch screen or anything, we definitely in the first 2 weeks of school practice how to log on to your computer, how to take an AR test, and I write down all their logins and passwords. And so I tell them, go get your greeting card and log on to computer A. And if they're not quite sure, I'll show them a couple of times, or another student will volunteer to help them, or I can bring them to my back table and we can figure it out together.
Right. Do you have enough of the technological resources for all of your students?
Definitely not. We've got 4 tablets, 2 iPads, 4 student computers, the computer that hooks up to my smart board, and then my personal one for paperwork and everything. We've got more than what an average school would have, but I've got 24 kids. It's impossible to have every piece of technology, but they do bring devices from home as well.
Okay, so how would you divide that out with just the devices they come through at home?
They can bring an iPad or like a mini tablet. They can't bring, of course, like a big computer.
Okay.
But if they do bring their device, we get it hooked up and it can work.
Okay. So what kind of apps or websites do you use most often to incorporate your lessons and everything like that?
We're a big push on Discovery Education this year. There's a thing, it's called a board builder, and for example, last week we did solids, liquids, and gases with my children, and they built it's like a PowerPoint, and they put pictures and videos and like little descriptions of solids, liquids, and gases, and they present to the classroom.
Okay.
We use Screen Chomp, which is monitoring your fluency during the Fluency Reading Center. And another app we use is called Vocaroo. It's when you are reading a reading passage and it allows the student to hear themselves actually read, to hear themselves able to comprehend what they're reading and see if they're sounding fluent or not.
Okay, awesome. So my last question for you is, have you had any troubles with technological resources or anything that have made your job harder and more difficult?
Of course, we don't have enough technology, but when it's really hard when one computer isn't working and I have to go, put a work order in on that, and then we're one short, or my smart board light bulb goes out and they tell me it's out of stock, and so I have to go to the data room on our hallway and uproot my class and bring it back and go back and forth, and it's just an inconvenience as far as when something breaks to get it back within a week. And so we work well as a grade level, and I'll borrow a computer from the teacher next door to me, and we make it work. So
that's good. All right, well that's pretty much it that I have for you today. Thank you for meeting.
You're
with me.
welcome. Thank you.